Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on the United News Channel. I'm your host, Jack Krebs. Tonight, we have a lot to cover regarding the ever-so-growing Red Scare. The Red Scare is what our great citizens are calling the movement towards keeping communism out of the United States. Communism is a newer economic system that has yet to prove itself in society, although many still have hope. This system gives all the means of production to the public, or in other words, the government. Each citizen under communism works and is paid according to their needs. When you do the math on paper, there are no divisions of wealth. There is no gap between the rich and the poor. Seems like a wonderful idea. Most critics of communism state that the reason we rebelled against the British was because the government was too big. This is true, but communists would like to fire back with the theory that the British did have lots of control, but not enough. Both of these arguments do not have data to sway someone in the middle, to the left, or to the right. So we have brought on well-renowned economist Tyson Rutledge, along with his associate Chase Markarian, both opposers to communism as well as the advocates of the Red Scare. Justin Brar will also be with us tonight. He's a believer in the communism and thinks that it cannot fail. Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks.
So, Justin, I want to start with you. Why do you believe communism trumps capitalism when it comes to the prosperity of the nation and the people?
Communism is a pathway to utopia. There is no ownership of goods. This leads to a higher morale of people that is better for a nation than the dirty greed of capitalism.
Justin. Yes, capitalism does run on greed, but it is a greed where if I wanted to go make a living for myself, however greedy that kind of living may be, I'm going to have to work more and more and produce more for the economy to achieve the life I want to live. Communism's theory is that people will work for the benefit of all and reap the same benefits for that work as someone who is producing twice as much GDP for the economy as him. Now, what is more greedy? I want what I want and I'm going to work my tail off to get it, or I breathe, therefore I deserve.
Before we get the philosophical arguments of which is right or wrong, I want to stick with the numbers. Chase, can a communist economy prosper over the capitalistic one?
Absolutely not. Jack, whether or not we capitalists fight for lower taxes and less tariffs because we want to reinvest it or even spend it on ourselves, in doing so we are helping the economy.
But Chase, that reinvestment to make more money comes at the expense of the poor.
It really does not, Justin. In fact, the more money that an employer has to reinvest in any kind of market, including his business, allows him not only to benefit himself, but also the working class and the economy as a whole. The employer will have enough money to build new factories, which need to be filled with workers. Then supply and demand will lower the cost of his product production-wise and consumption-wise. He will also be bringing in more money to the point where tax cut actually brings in more revenue for the government, not less. Higher taxes, in the case of communism, a 100% tax, takes a severe toll on the economy.
And Mr. Brar, your rebuttal?
Well, communism is, You guys are just racist!
Well, it looks like you gentlemen stumped him.
Yes, we did, Jack. And the bottom line is that we cannot let America turn towards this form of government. The American dream is not based off of selfishness of coming to this nation and be given health care, be given an income, and be given housing. The American dream is based off the opportunity to work for what one wants, to achieve whatever he or she desires. We cannot let snowflakes like Mr. Brar play the victim card because he's not willing to put action to his dream. Sure, some are at a disadvantage more than others. J.D. Rockefeller grew up poor. The robber baron myth that so many think of when they picture a greedy capitalist could never be further from the truth. Sure, he was a greedy capitalist, but he alone pretty much created the middle class that plays such a vibrant role in our economy today. He gave good wages, had above average working conditions, and donated more money to poverty than the net worth of the next richest man in the States.
Thank you, Mr. Markarian. Any last words, Tyson?
I just wanted to point out that inequality is what communism is combating. Inequality is not caused by the fundamentals of the free market and capitalism like Karl Marx says. Inequality is the fundamental rule of existence. Communism is just inequality without wealth. The free market allows those on the bottom levels of inequality to reach the top levels. Big government prevents that from happening, and communism just traps everyone into a box of equality with nice wrapping paper and a bow on top. As a means of production become more and more under the control of the government, it impedes more and more on the freedom of the people to pursue what they want to pursue.
I would like to thank both of you for coming in today. Thanks for joining us on another great evening here in America. I'm Jack Krebs here with the United News Channel, and stay classy, America.